story short, you watched the Xbox show separately from me.
Yes.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Not massively.
We're both very excited. You're, without taking words out of your mouth, you're on a bit of a high. You said right before the show. You're on a high. You're feeling good. Tell the people what's going on in the world of Goldilocks, Jay.
Really?
Goldilocks, Jay. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Goldilocks Gamer? Is Goldilocks Gamer better?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, I platinumed Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty easy to do, which I'm very happy about. Like, I'm glad it wasn't, like, too difficult. Like, I didn't have to do too much. Like, I guess part of me probably would have liked if there was, like, maybe more to do, but I mean, there is actually a lot to do. It's just that I don't want to like big up myself. It's just I'm probably a bit more capable. This is like very much my wheelhouse. Like this is the kind of game that I can get into and I know I'm going to be good at. I think I spoke about it last week. I was like, I know I'm going to be good at this game, so I don't really have to worry, and I am. I'm good enough to be able to do it very, in a good amount of time and pretty efficiently. So yeah, no, platinum is easy. I think I can't. The game doesn't actually tell you how long you've played for, so you've got to kind of like.
That's annoying.
You've got to kind of judge it for yourself. So I want to say somewhere between maybe 35 and 45 for platinum, so which is pretty good.
You got it Friday, day it came out, pre-downloaded it. What time did you get up Friday to play it?
Yeah, I probably woke up at like 8, half 8, started playing it around 9, and I finished it. Started 9 a.m. Friday, finished it 9 p.m. Sunday.
Main story.
No, hang on. That's wrong. That's very wrong. Wednesday. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what day it is today. It's Thursday, right?
Oh, okay. So for your gaming length standard, that's pretty good, right?
No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday night. There we go. That's better.
Okay.
Tuesday night.
That's pretty
5
pretty good
days. That's pretty good. I mean, I knew going into it was going to be between 40 hours and 50 hours to be able to platinum, so happy with. Very, very happy with.
Again, as I mentioned in the part 2 special, just over so quickly, mate.
What you mean, like waiting for it for so long and then it's over
6
so quick?
years in the making.
Oh, I see.
4, 5 days.
Well, I mean, I like games where you look at it like when they first teased it, I was like, I mean, this looks cool, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it.
Sure.
Wait and see. Then we saw the gameplay, and I was like, okay, it's definitely getting better. And then I obviously pre-ordered it and was like, okay, I'm definitely playing it now. But I'm kind of annoyed at myself for not liking it more beforehand. Because I think I can put this in my top 10.
So you're annoyed for not getting more hype for it?
Kind of, yeah. But I'm guess on the other hand, I'm glad I didn't, because now I can enjoy it more for myself after the fact.
Yeah.
Like all the hype that I would have spent before is now being spent after. And I think that now gives me a better appreciation for the game after rather than before. I feel like having an appreciation for a game before kind of makes you have too many expectations, right? Versus having it after, and your expectations have been met, so you can now agree with yourself and feel better about having had the experience. So
I think you're better off having the post hype than the pre-hype.
100%. I need to do this every time because I'm on such, like you say, I'm on such a high right now. I'm so and I'm in such a good mood with the game that I'm actually playing it a second time, which I didn't think I would do when I first started. I thought, yeah, so, I'll play this and that'll be it. I'll be bummed out and I'll have to just go and do something else. But because I don't have anything else, I might as well just play it again. And it's actually fun enough to be able to go back, and it feels fresh and new still. Like I'm not bored of it at all. I think I might even play it a third time, honestly.
So to be clear, you've started the game again from scratch. No new game plus.
Nope. Yep. I've 100% of the game, and I'm now doing it 100% again, trying to.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, yeah.
So you're not even just doing the story again. You want 100% it again.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'll get all the collectibles. 100%, I'll get all the collectibles. I'll get all the techniques and everything, everything you can do.
Wow. Okay, so not to get too deep into it, we're obviously going to have a special later this week, Jay, which we'll record and we'll get that out when it's ready. This one I thought was going to be late. Turns out it looks like it's going to be on time. Praise the TGO.
Praise Logic.
Praise the TGO. So that's great. So just general hype going all around, Jay. Like, we've just come off seeing the Xbox conference. We're going to talk about it for at least an hour right now.
Probably,
And
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of good vibes going around.
Yeah, today's a good day.
Today's a good day.
I haven't felt this like happy in a while.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I don't know how long it'll last, but there you go.
Just a little preview then. Is it because of the Xbox game showcase? It's got you in such a
I'd
good
say
mood?
it is like maybe like 80% Ghost, 20% the event.
Sure.
The event definitely helped. Yeah, definitely.
You on PlayStation's payroll, mate?
No.
Oh, I'm joking. So you're knee deep in Ghost of Tsushima. That's great to hear. I was very happy to hear. I just got, for the audience, I didn't speak to Jay like once, I don't think, during his weekend. I think I maybe... No, I messaged you.
Yeah, you did message me.
I messaged him because Odyssey had an update, and I was like, that's weird.
That is odd.
So then I messaged him, and then Jay was like, why are you messaging me? I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Why are you messaging me about an Odyssey update?
That's not like how I meant it to be. I know. It was more like, why are you messaging me about this? I guess it's odd enough to warrant a message, but sure.
And then I found it really strange.
Yeah.
And then no communication. I just left Jay to his own devices, as it were. And then I just get the message at like 9:30 on Tuesday night. Platinumed. Was it just platinum?
Oh, yeah, it was just platinum
like,
or platinum, one of them. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. No, it was.
God.
I tend to have this innate ability to be able to finish a game right before I want to finish a game. Like I almost always complete a game at like between 9 and 11 at night. Always. It just happens to happen all the time.
Mate, we have to talk about this because this is a real thing.
It really is.
This is a real
I time it perfectly every time. I've not completed a game in the morning in maybe a year, if not more.
Yeah.
I think there might have been like one this year that it was only because I was like tired that night or something. Like I would have finished it that night, but I just had to go to bed.
There's two reasons for this, okay? Firstly, I think subconsciously we play it and we kind of aim it around an evening session.
Yeah.
Secondly, more importantly, I think that we play it and we get to that point where we think we're near the ending. I have to finish this game.
Yeah.
I have to finish it.
You don't like speed up, but you sort of get more in the zone, so you sort of tend to focus and do better sort of near the end anyway. So yeah.
100%.
I think for me, like I feel like, I don't know if you ever get this, but I say my best gaming like feeling is probably like any time after 6 p.m. Like 6 p.m. is like the earliest I'll ever be like, I'm like fully in the mood for this game right now. Anything before that just kind of feels a bit like, I'll play the game, like I'm in the mood for it, but just to get it done rather than actually to enjoy it. I feel like I enjoy a game more in the evening. I like it when it's dark. Just say that. I like gaming when it's dark.
Do you think that relates to that intrinsic feeling of I shouldn't be doing this during the day type mentality?
I guess it's because we're so used to obviously living our lives during the day. I don't know, because I mean we've spoken before about summer gaming and having the window open and the sun coming through and playing like that. But I feel like that time of day is usually like between like 3 and 5. Like if the sun's coming down, it's still like out there, but it's coming down and it's starting to get into night. So it's almost like the transition, like the gaming transition time where you've played during the morning, you've got the transition of the evening, and then it's like full on in the nighttime, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also see though a vision of Crash Bandicoot in the morning with the sun out.
There's definitely some games that lend themselves to being played in the morning. It's such a weird conversation. Like we've talked about games that feel better in like the winter, or feel better in the summer, or feel better this time of day. Yeah, it makes it. I don't know. It's just I guess it's personal, but there's some sort of like connective thing there between many gamers, I'm sure.
I like to talk about it, Jay, with you especially because I do think it's a thing that isn't raised, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, it's just like one of those sort of like hidden things that not a lot of people. It's almost like having like a thing in common between like males. Or like a thing in common between females. A lot of females or a lot of males have these things in common, but don't know they have them in common until the other person's like, "Oh, you do that too." It's like one of those things. Like everyone does it. It's just nobody knows that everyone does it.
Because nobody talks about it.
Exactly. I think more than just us two tend to think about these things, just usually not with other people. It's just a cool thing, I suppose.
And with that, this is the TGO show. That was Jay, the Goldilocks Gamer. Why is he called the Goldilocks Gamer? Listen through the whole of our... What would you call it, Jay?
Catalogue.
Catalogue, thank you.
I
was going to say archive.
Portfolio. All of those are great. Look
words. Through our Jedi archives to find out why. On the Friendly Neighborhood Nick. And hashtag...
We've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, he done it for me.
Yeah.
So we talk about lots of different video game stuff, but today's a very important day because we had Phase 2, maybe Phase 3, depending on what you class as each conference
I don't know, yeah.
Let me summarise for the people. Phase 1. What the hell was Phase 1? Xbox Series X event? Did we have that? Did we have the reveal event? Yes, we did. Phase 1. The first Xbox Series X event where we had those games like indie games and stuff like that. Phase 2, the PS5 reveal event with lots of great,
I guess you could say this was
games.
Like the end of Phase 2 maybe, right?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
End of Phase 2, that was the start. End of Phase 2, this Xbox games showcase.
Yeah, the next lot of events are going to be Phase 3, I'd say. Because I think August is going to be Phase 3 and September is going to be Phase 4.
Phase 4 being the very last trickle of information, I would say.
So August is when the Xbox is supposed to have... What's their code name for it? Lockhart or whatever?
Lockhart,
they're supposed to have the price and release and everything, like release dates shown, basically. And I think PlayStation are planning on doing a similar thing in August as well. And then September is sort of when we get the last sort of trickling of games and information, I think. And then after that, it should be release of, Dirt 5 and Squadrons and a load of other things. So.
God damn.
Although September's got some pretty good stuff in it. It's got it's got Tony Hawk.
This year kicks off early. Very similar to 2014.
Although
Destiny kicked off early then.
They've delayed Destiny. It was supposed to be September 19th, but it's now November 10th.
Yeah.
So they've extended their current season, and then they're gonna, delay the thing to come out nearer. I think it's supposed to come out nearer the time of the console release.
Was that supposed to be the first main thing for this year? In September, was it the Destiny 2 DLC Beyond Light? Was that supposed to be the main?
Well, I mean, in terms of Destiny, I guess, yeah, but not in like overall. The first main release this year, I guess, is like I don't know, Dirt 5, I guess.
I think it might be.
Yeah, I think Dirt 5 is it.
Something like that.
Yeah, some Squadrons, anything like that.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's a fairly early year and we've got pretty consistent releases. But before we move on to the main showcase, Jay, you do have a Squadrons gameplay note in the note.
I do, yeah. So they released a 15-minute... they didn't. There's multiple people who have been allowed to go to EA or have been sent, I guess, a demo, like a game,
escorted.
Yeah, a playable demo of Squadrons, just to be like, this is the place we're at right now. Show the world where we're at. Essentially, they've got all these different, content creators. And there's a particular guy who I watch called Arex Gaming. He showed off some stuff. He said it's definitely not his style of like game to play, but he likes all the customizable stuff, I guess.
So, sorry, did they show their gameplay playing the game?
No, it was.
They just talked about them playing the game.
I mean, they showed their personal gameplay, yeah.
So there was actual gameplay?
Yes, actual gameplay. Full on.
I need to check that out. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put it in the notes to be like remind you, almost to like to tell you to be like, yeah, check this out. I mean,
okay.
I'm still on the fence a little bit actually. It's kind of 50-50. Like did you remember playing that game on GameCube? I don't know if you probably didn't. There was like a space battle Star Wars game.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, was it Rogue Squadron?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think there was like maybe another one that I played as well. But it's basically that game, just with a much better quality, essentially.
Lick of paint, yeah.
I will say, if you get motion sick, or you find it hard to concentrate on flying simulator type games, it might be difficult to play this game. Like it had me a bit disorientated. I was like, "Whoa, there's a lot going on right now."
Can you play third person from the ship?
Yeah, that was the thing. The developers made a point of like, we'd rather you play the reason why we've got it as first persons because we'd rather you have that experience of being like the pilot in the cockpit, right? I don't think they denied ever having a third person choice in the future, but I think it's less than likely. I don't think it would work. I don't think that's what they're trying to go for. They're trying to just stick with the first person because I think it might be like a advantage potentially because you can see more around you, so there might be a bit more of an advantage, like depending on which one you had. So I think they're probably going to keep it at first. I don't mind that though because it definitely makes it. I don't know. I guess it makes it harder, or it makes it more involved. I'm not exactly sure, but in terms of how it looked, I'm a bit like I'm hoping they're going to make this look a bit sharper. There were aspects of it that I was a bit, oh, that looks a bit not as good as I'd hoped, but it is a cheaper game, right? Like it sort of had the level of quality I imagine a £35 game would.
Without going into too much of a sidetrack, Jay,
Yeah.
on later news, I do think you've got a really valid point in that I don't know whether it's because we're watching all these things on YouTube and our monitors, but there is a lack of finesse from these game trailers and a lack of polish on the graphics where I'm looking at it like, there's no way it looks like this, surely.
What you mean, good or bad?
Bad.
Yeah, see, I thought that about Ghost of Tsushima. And there's actually one thing I want to mention that I forgot a little while ago. Actually, no, I'll bring that up in the special. I won't bring that up now. But there was a thing about like when we first watched the gameplay of Ghost, I was like, oh, the graphics look a bit like there's
Weird.
aspects of it they look a bit weird. They don't look quite as sharp as I'd imagined. Which they definitely fixed that partly in Ghost. But in Squadrons it kind of felt somewhat similar. The graphics didn't quite look as sharp as I'd like them. I feel like the graphics of the space battles in Battlefront 2 looked better.
Interesting.
Like at times, I'm not sure if it's supposed to look a certain way or what, but I'm hoping that it'll get better. As I'm just, But
The
yeah, like
Battlefront-
what you were saying about the game trailers. In terms of the event, do you mean like the one you were watching it didn't look as good, or what?
We'll come on
Or
to that.
do you just mean like gameplay in general?
To be fair, I am generalising here a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, to me it looks fine, but I guess we could talk about that in a bit.
Okay. The Squadrons thing, a couple of things I want to comment on that you've raised, Jay. Firstly, if there is a really good tactic against people playing in third person online compared to being in the cockpit, that's going to be a huge issue. And secondly, I think all I wanted from this game was a Rogue Squadron game. And I think
me too.
And I think to expect much more from that may be a shame because I think your expectations may be too high.
Yeah, when we spoke about it before, I think my expectations definitely have been too high, which is what I'm a little bit worried about now. I'm thinking, oh god, have I thought about this too much? I might have to like lower my expectations a bit, definitely.
I think a lot of people's are too high. Like I spoke to you.
I think that's why they released the gameplay about it though. They released it being like, hang on a second, guys, you need to rethink what this is going to be, just for a bit. There's definitely aspects of like some of the even like the main menu looking stuff and the customization stuff, and like changing of the loadouts. Where I was like, this definitely looks less quality than I thought it would be. I think if this game was a $60, £60, £60, £55 game, it'd definitely be more of what I had in my head. But because it's cheaper, I think they'll add on to it later that'll make it better. I think it'll maybe have like a year-long plan that will improve it as it goes. So yeah, lower expectations for the launch, but then maybe higher as we go. Definitely.
And with that, I've been playing Odyssey.
You have?
Nothing to comment on. End of phase 2, It's time to get down and dirty. There's so much to talk about. I can't wait to talk about this
There's
with
actually
you.
something I want to talk to you about that might surprise you. Because I've
Okay.
been very vocal about one of these games in the past, and I want to just like talk to you about what that is. But yeah, continue, and I'll let you start, and then I'll make additions.
Okay, what I'd like to do, Jay,
Yes.
is I would like your very broad.
Very broad.
You've reflected on it for about a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I want your broad. What did you? And I'm going to say mine first, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What did you take away from this event? And you can please do compare it to the PS5 event because you're only as good as the last best T-shirt. I don't know. So, my thoughts, Jay.
Yes.
Throughout the showcase, I was having a good time. I was enjoying watching lots of games and gameplay.
Okay.
My overall reflection, Jay, I do believe this is a failure for Xbox.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, partly. It's definitely
correct.
It's got some massive highs, but also some sort of like very mediocre mediums. You know, sort of like sort of a bit lulls in parts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't go on too much longer. But essentially, again, probably the best showcase they've had in many years.
I disagree.
Okay, fair.
The Cyberpunk one was probably the best.
But that's third party.
What do you mean?
But yeah, as in Cyberpunk isn't exclusive.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about exclusively. It's
yeah, I'm talking more of from an Xbox point of view. Like,
okay, so not
these games belong, their identity is Xbox sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And from this event, Jay, again, I enjoyed myself, but effectively, this event made me decide that if it wasn't for Assassin's Creed, I would 110% be buying a PlayStation 5 at launch and not an Xbox Series X. That is what I got from this event.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to talk about, especially with this event, in terms of like what to compare it to, right? You need to sort of what they spoke about on the stream afterwards was, did this event make you decide whether you want an Xbox or not versus the competitors, right? And I would say no, definitely. Like there wasn't anything where I went, right, I'm definitely getting an Xbox now. If it wasn't for Valhalla, it wouldn't be happening.
Exactly. And I'm prepared to get Assassin's Creed on PlayStation now, but continue.
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, no, I couldn't. I have some level of loyalty when it comes to Microsoft, even though Valhalla obviously isn't. It's not exclusive.
I get you.
But to me, I've played every Assassin's Creed game I've ever played on an Xbox, so I kind of have to.
What about Cyberpunk? Do you know what platform you're playing that on?
If there's a special edition with the Xbox, I'll get that. If there's like an Xbox where you get like a different coloured, like actually, it's got a skin to it, or maybe there's like an edition that comes with the controller or something, I might then get that. Yes.
A skin on the console.
Yeah, like they have done with their old the
360 plates and stuff.
Yeah, but like they've done with their recent Cyberpunk release, right?
Okay.
I doubt they will, but I don't think I see myself getting Cyberpunk on PS4/5. I don't know. I feel like Cyberpunk just seems more Xbox to me.
I know what you mean, and the smart delivery is working.
Yeah,
in the
sense
smart
delivery definitely.
I don't trust PlayStation's ability to give me that free PS5 copy as much as I do Xbox's.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting an Xbox, 100%.
Okay. So we're fairly similar. Is there anything else you want to talk about top level wise, Jay, about this event and how it made you feel and what you thought about it, top level?
Yeah, so overall, I wouldn't say it beat the PlayStation event. I don't think. It's very difficult. I think one of the comments made on the stream afterwards that I really liked was that I don't think there's ever been an Xbox event where I've come out of it being like that really wowed me. Where in previous years, I think PlayStation have made it a bit more apparent where it's like, oh my god, like usually there's a bit more of an OMG moment. And I was waiting for that. I was like, well, okay, here finally comes the Xbox OMG moment. And I don't think there really was one. Not massively. I think there was like potential to be some like definitely higher level OMG type stuff, but I think overall, it just was not as. It's such a weird thing to like think about, but Xbox just don't tend not to, deliver as well as PlayStation sometimes. I think it's hard. Even the PlayStation one that came out wasn't that great. I just think expectations. I think maybe my expectations of like what I'm expecting next gen to be might be slightly higher than what I probably should be thinking. I don't know. That might be it. But
do you think, Jay, that the next generations are actually a strange thing in the sense that we get our expectations high, but the games that we really want on the platforms don't actually come till 3 or 4 years after they're out? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah, I guess not including Valhalla, Cyberpunk, and a few other things. I guess.
Yeah. But even though these games are optimized for Series X, they're not made from the ground up for Series X. You know?
Yeah, I guess so. I know what you mean.
Think,
like, they almost feel like they're still part of the Xbox One, PS4 family, even though they probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I know what you mean. So I think when we'll actually probably get massively excited is the next Assassin's Creed, and maybe the next iteration. I feel like Cyberpunk definitely is a bit more next gen in my head. Like even though it's coming out on previous, to me it feels more next gen. And I think Valhalla does too, but I just kind of have to like put myself in that mindset versus how it actually might feel in terms of like if it still feels old gen versus new gen. I don't know.
In terms of Valhalla, mate, we still see that as the third era of Creed, right? It belongs in the Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla.
Yeah. Because it's got the RPG elements, so yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, without further ado, Jay, shall we dive into the real nitty-gritty of this showcase and go game through game?
Do we want to do it in order?
I would like to, if that's okay with you.
Okay, so what's the first one? What would you consider to be the first one?
Halo Infinite.
Okay, Halo Infinite. Cool. So yeah, I want to say something about this.
Sure.
So in previous Halo iterations, I felt I wasn't that interested in them. Like the last Halo game that I actually liked and played properly was probably Reach, because I think that games I've played all the way through 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. I haven't played any other. I mean, apart from the Halo Wars games, right? So what was the one after Reach? Was it what was Halo 4? Was it Guardians or something, right?
No, Halo 4 and then Halo 5 Guardians.
Okay, so there's been nothing else between those two, right?
We got Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
And we got a couple of mobile spin-offs, but nothing else.
So yeah, Halo...
Master Chief Collection.
Of course,
and loads of stuff with that, but carry on.
So I feel like Infinite actually made me consider potentially buying it. Like, there's a very small part of me that was like, I could see myself playing this with you, 100%.
Okay. Because bringing up old Halo 2 memories almost?
It kind of made me feel like it looked a lot like Halo 1, 2, and 3. Like how I imagined my childish part of my, like... I think they spoke about that on the stream, about how the 343 deliberately wanted gamers to be like, to feel some level of nostalgia with old Halo. And I was like, my God, this looks so much like old Halo that I'm actually tempted to play this. Thing is, the problem is the story I don't know about, and I don't know if I'm actually bothered about the story or not.
Yeah, I think they've probably designed the story so that you players like you who haven't played since Reach will probably be able to get into it.
I think that's what it is. I think because they've realised that they've probably lost some people. They've obviously also gained a lot of people, but the people they've gained are obviously a lot younger, so they wouldn't have experienced the previous ones. So I think they're trying to get the old people back, which has definitely worked on me. There's definitely a part of me that's like, I wouldn't mind playing this game. And that's for two other reasons. The two other reasons is how good it looks. Like, graphically, this is next gen, 100%. First second I saw it, I was like, oh my God. The draw distance is insane. The lighting, like, everything about it, just like the what 343 have done in previous years with the audio of their guns is just like gun audio. I don't know why, but that is like a massive part of shooters for me. Like, if a gun audio sounds
Halo,
good,
yeah.
Even with with Call of Duty, their gun audio development over the last couple of years has been insane. So I'm very happy about that. And I guess the other thing, which you may or may not have realised, is that it's now open world.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
or semi, at least.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they confirmed it. I want to say I read an article
Okay.
because the guys from IGN actually played the game like a week or two before,
Okay.
and they asked the question, "Is this fully open world?" And they were like, "Yeah, pretty much." So
I've got a lot of things to talk about, Jay, for
yeah,
this game.
I want to hear your side of things with this game because I'm actually kind of excited about it. And I honestly, if you'd asked me yesterday, are you excited about Halo Infinite? I'd have been like, no way. Honestly, that gameplay
Interesting.
completely sold me on the game. Completely sold me.
Interesting. That I'm glad to hear that, Jay. I think this looks like the best Halo since Halo Reach.
Oh, 100%.
And it definitely has ever since we've seen the reveal for it, it has reminisced in the old games. The nature side of things, being set on a Halo ring, everything about it was like, feels right.
Even the way Master Chief looks.
Correct.
Like I feel like in more recent games, he's looked almost like not green.
Correct.
He's almost looked grey and kind of like bulkier and almost like the bloody character from Doom.
Yeah.
He just looks like odd, but now he actually looks like combat evolved Master Chief, and I'm like, oh my god.
Literally, they've made the suit more matte green rather than gloss, which they kind of moved to, and the visor almost became bright orange and all that stuff. But anyway,
classic Halo, let's go.
Yeah, and
I can't believe I'm getting excited about Halo. It's insane.
It's
Absolutely
definitely one of, if not the favourites games for me that they showed. And shout out to Coops, who's on Xbox, who I speak to all the time, who said 5 years ago, if not more, about the possibility of having an open world Halo game.
Oh, really?
And I shut him down, and I was like, there is no way.
Honestly, I'm glad it is, because I think Halo needed a change up, for me at least.
It needed a change up, but then it also needed to feel like Halo.
Yeah.
And it does look like they're hitting the mark there. A couple of... Yeah, let's be positive. Let's down the positive route here.
Oh, 100%.
So it feels like Halo. The sound design, I completely agree, Jay, was fantastic. The gun playing gameplay, from what we could tell, looked like combat evolved. The way the Magnum feels, the way the assault rifle looks like it felt, looks really good to me.
They got like 5 or 6 new weapons too, entirely new weapon types, which is just like...
Yeah, the weapons look cool. They've related the enemies and the story to Halo Wars 2 and Halo 5. And spoilers for Halo Wars 2, but at the end of Halo Wars 2, you found out that was linking into Halo 5. And I wondered how they were going to kind of do that. Was there going to be a Halo Wars 3, etc.? Anyway, so I'll see. It's interesting to see how they relate the story into those two games, especially because not nearly as many people played Halo Wars 2 as Halo 5.
I want to say something about that really quick, about the story just in general. I'm pretty sure they spoke about that this game was going to be a platform for like a whole new story now.
Okay.
Like this is going to tie up a lot of ends from 5, but it's also going to now introduce a whole new side of Halo, basically.
Okay.
So, continue.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I'm
glad, because I'm completely lost on the story at this point. Yeah. I couldn't tell you anything.
That's fair. Well, I still hate the name. I hate Infinite in any game name. I hate it. I don't know why people keep doing it. It's horrible.
There obviously is a reason for it, and I'm guessing it's probably partly to do with the whole fact that it's open world, right? Actually, I think I might have a reason. So they spoke about this on the stream. They said that the part of the ring was broken.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So the reason for that is because as you go around the ring, you get to the broken parts, they eventually get fixed, and you can then go into the next section of the ring.
Okay.
So eventually, once both of those things have been fixed, there's like 2 bits where they're open. You can come back on itself and you go in a loop. You can go wherever you want, which I'm guessing is part of the infinity loop part of things, right?
Got you.
So I think that's probably part of the reason, because you can just infinitely go round and round as much as you can come back. Like they spoke about like Metroid aspects of the game where like you can, or even like other games that have similar gameplay mechanics where you see a part and you think, oh, I can't get to that yet. I'll have to get this bit of equipment for me to be able to come back later on and grab it whenever because it's now obviously open world. You can do that in a lot of these open world games. So I think I'm excited about that. I'm excited about making my way all the way around and just like going round. That just sounds
Yeah, the
Clever.
open world,
So
the
clever.
open world mechanic, I think, like you say, Jay, is a welcome addition. I will be interested to see how that works because I personally think some of the worst bits of Halo is Halo 1, where you're in really large areas that have nothing in them. So I'll be interested
Yeah,
to
they
see how they
have to
solve
pack it.
that.
They have to absolutely put so
Mm.
much into it, which I'm guessing is probably why it's taking so long because they've had to actually like fill the game as much as they can, just
And
absolutely
that
ram it with
and
stuff.
that relates to the Halo ring being larger, or at least the bits you can play
Yeah,
being
they spoke
larger than the
about that.
previous
Yeah,
two Halo games
combined,
combined.
that's insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that. I
massive.
like that a lot. I like that.
There was really small things, Jay, in the trailer where I thought that's Halo.
Okay,
So
I
the
think
one
I
thing
had a
that
similar feeling actually. Yeah, go on.
the one thing that stood out for me for whatever reason was when the drop pods came down with the enemies in them,
100%. Yeah,
and I was just like, that's great.
so
I
Halo.
personally didn't see the fidelity and the close up graphics. I looked at those enemies and I was like, really? That I'm just being honest. That is my honest opinion.
Do you mean it didn't look good? Do you mean the elements didn't look good?
They didn't look that detailed to me.
Okay, it might
It
have been
might be
because
in
we
the
didn't look at it for
stream.
long enough. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be in the stream. I mean, even that boss monologue at the end
Yeah,
when they close up on the face, I was like, "Is this worth closing up on?"
yeah, the details in his forehead and like his like nose part of his face was very like this. They haven't polished this. It's not done yet. Like it's almost like they kind of had to rush like the mouth and like his like armor wasn't fully like. It's almost like the graphics hadn't popped in yet. Like you know how you get that draw distance
Yep,
when you get like
that's exactly what I thought for a
yeah.
lot of the enemies during the gameplay. That's a great detail to
I
always
imagine
explain it.
they'll definitely. I think right. So they said the game's going to be in 60 frames.
Fantastic news, best news of the whole trailer.
And
A smooth 60.
I
Yes.
think that's why the graphics probably don't look that good. And I'm going to talk about that actually in the Ghost of Tsushima special. That's going to be part of that.
Okay. Okay.
In a similar idea that I think to increase load times and to get 60 frames, they've had to slightly draw back some of the graphics in certain areas, which I think is what they've done with Halo. I think to be able to keep it as smooth, I don't think that it's weird for me to say, but it almost seems like the technology isn't there yet.
I know.
Which is such a weird thing to say because like we're expecting so much from these new consoles.
I know.
I'm expecting less than 3-second load times. You know, a second is what they've promised, if not less, right? I'm expecting graphics to be able to be top notch and sharp while it's smooth 60 frames. But it almost feels like games aren't quite there yet.
Jay, it either feels like the technology isn't there, or the way that people design games,
Yeah, I think that's
just
what it is.
isn't
Yeah.
allowing us to play games at 60 frames in
Which
like
is
4K.
why the new Unreal Engine is going to help out so much. Because I think once we get that in the next year or two, games are actually going to be at their full potential on these consoles, 100%. I think we're almost kind of like at like half potential at this point, which is still more than what we've got on previous gen. I think these games are still better, you know, on the new consoles than they would be on the old ones. But they were still not. We're only using 10% of our brain, you know, that kind of feeling. Like we've got the potential to hit 100, but as soon as we do, that's when we're going to hit Nirvana. You know, that's when we're going to hit infinity or whatever. You know.
Yeah, it feels.
It still
like...
looks good though. I actually really was amazed by the graphics on Halo. I was absolutely like, this is insane to me.
Yeah, I think if they do sacrifice, that makes sense now that you've said about the graphics and the frame rate.
They'll have to.
I would rather have frame rate, to be fair. So...
Oh yeah, me too. Like that's the same with how it is in Ghost. Like they've had to cut back on some of the graphic stuff for load times and for just like how things feel, like smooth and everything. So I think that's just how it's going to be now, and at least until maybe next year or the year after.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, we spoke about Halo quite a lot. That was obviously their main. We haven't seen gameplay from it yet, so that was the main
Halo,
showcase.
but I don't want to keep talking for so long.
It's true. I think what I will say, Jay, is that say this now. Every game that was shown today is pretty much coming on Xbox Game Pass.
Oh no, every game is. They said
every game is.
They said every game. Yeah.
Why would I buy any of these games then?
See, okay, so you want to talk about Game Pass? This is actually I wanted to bring this up too. They might have sold me on Game Pass.
Jay, if you're not buying Game Pass at this point, you're throwing away hundreds of pounds.
I know. I'm actually tempted to get Game Pass. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I might have to look into it a bit more, but actually, like, I might have to. So a Game Pass is like £1 for the first month,
or 3, depending
or
on when you
3,
buy it.
and
Yeah,
then it's like 10. Is it £10 after that every month?
something like that with Xbox Live included.
I might have to check it, but if that's true, I'm very, very tempted now. I've looked at Game Pass and been like, not really. I don't play enough games on Xbox to warrant that. But because we've now been given like what 22, 23, 24 games that are potentially are definitely coming on Game Pass, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely a possibility now. And definitely with this list of games, there's a lot in here that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't actually mind playing some of these. So
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's definitely looking like Game Pass is a possibility for me too, which I definitely wouldn't. If you asked me yesterday, I'd have been like, no way.
yeah.
But again, Game Pass is looking, yeah, it's looking pretty nice right now. So I'm excited
100%.
about that, definitely.
This had the Gears 5 impact, which I made a video on last year. Why would I buy Halo Infinite when it's going to be on Game Pass?
Yeah, I think actually that might be my way of getting Halo, is just getting the Game Pass and then playing it for however long I need to on that. And then if I want to cancel, I can cancel, can't I? So
100%.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Next up, a surprising announcement, but we did talk about how this could have been coming, if you remember, in one of our shows. A cinematic trailer, very creepy, got a weird looking zombie animal in it. Find out it's State of Decay 3.
Yeah, I was surprised by that, honestly.
Me too.
So did it come out 2018?
I believe so. I believe so.
I think the time between the first one and the second one was like twice as long as the second to third.
Yes, that sounds about
right. It felt a lot longer. This one, I saw it and thought, "There's no way that's State of Decay 3. It's way too soon." I think so. There were rumors going around that this latest State of Decay, if there was going to be a new one, was actually going to be an MMO. But this seems to have debunked that a little bit. It seems like it's going to be more of the same sort of thing, I guess, just in a more snowy area. I don't know, different area, I guess. I mean, I loved the first one, didn't bother the second one, but if I'll keep an eye on this one. If I'll might go back to it. I'm just sort of bored of zombies at this point, to be honest. I was surprised that there was a zombie animal. That seemed a bit confusing, but I don't know.
I think that looks like it's going to be one of their new elements they'll introduce in the game.
Yeah, that'll be a new thing to keep it fresh, I suppose. So yeah, it looks fine. I don't know. I probably won't play it, but
I'm never playing this game.
I'm happy that it's out there because I know there's a lot of people who enjoy those kind of games. So
yeah, I'm happy for the State of Decay fans. I have nothing positive to say about this franchise, so I won't say anything.
Okay. Yeah, just happy it's a thing.
Yeah, surprised, happily surprised.
Happily surprised, yeah.
Next up, Jay. Now, I might be getting my years wrong here. Maybe you can help me out here, Jay.
Okay.
Forza Motorsport and no number.
Yeah. So it's a reboot. Number. It's a reboot.
It's not a platform which they'll update continuously for years. Because that's the impression I got.
Potentially, they were speaking about that it could potentially be that, and that's what Halo Infinite is going to potentially be too. They were saying that this is more of a platform that they're going to add on to. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if they did that. I think the bigger question was, how is this going to affect Horizon, especially for me at least.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. I thought we were due Horizon 5. Am I wrong in that?
So, Motorsport is made by someone different, right?
Turn 10.
Yeah. So
Horizon's made by Playground.
Yeah. So Playground had another game they did for this one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Playground, I'm pretty sure.
Well, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. That's another game.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah, for me, I don't think this will probably affect Horizon because obviously it's a different company, so I don't know. I mean, Motorsport for me, I've really been too positive about it, I think. I'll just double check.
What's the most recent Forza game, period?
Horizon 4.
Okay, I was wrong about that. Motorsport is due. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, usually, Jay, it goes every year. We get a Motorsport, then we get a Horizon. That's kind of what's been going on, okay? Now it looks like Motorsport is not only not coming this year, it looks like it's going to be a platform. The question is, when's it coming? And is Forza Horizon still a thing? And is that now going to be a platform? My question to you as a racing guy, are you interested in this game at all?
It's difficult. So the last Motorsport game that came out was 2017, and that was Motorsport 7.
Mm-hmm.
The last Motorsport game I played was probably 3 in 2009.
Okay.
I didn't like 5. It didn't really interest me when it first came out. I was like, yeah. 6, I honestly didn't even realize 6 and 7 were out. So I'm hoping this reboot is just going to like completely, change it. I mean, it looks, from the look of it, it looks more like it's probably going to be quite a heavy simulator type game. Whether it's going to be any good, I don't know. I probably won't play this, more than likely. I'd have to see something very unique to how I play for me to enjoy this. I'm definitely looking more forward to if there's going to be another Horizon. Horizon just seems a lot more. Horizon seems more to me like how Dirt felt back in the day. Like it felt very like festival. It felt more like a festival. Whereas Motorsport feels more like a Formula One type game. It feels less like a festival and more like a professional racing game. So I don't know. I'll have to see a bit more. I need to see some like actual like proper gameplay and progression type things. So I don't know. I mean, it looked graphically, everything we saw was in engine, and it looked very next gen. So I can definitely see why they. I think the biggest takeaway from this was Forza are known for rushing their games out, just because they want them to. Every Forza game, there's always been a Forza game on launch date for any console. And this is the first time they haven't released one at launch. This one's going to be way after, so I'm glad. I think people were saying that they're glad that they're keeping this back and they're not necessarily delaying it, but having it, cook for as long as it needs to and actually make it a proper good game rather than just rushing it out and it being half baked. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad they're sort of learning from their previous mistakes. So yeah,
agree with everything you said, and I'd just like to reinforce that.
Yeah.
The graphics did look possibly the most next gen
Insane.
of all these games.
Yeah, 100%. Very. We've been promised stuff like this before, though,
Yeah.
and it's I actually want to see some actual gameplay before I make up my mind.
And it is also worth noting that a lot of car games at the next gen point do usually look pretty photorealistic, but they did look photorealistic.
Yeah. I'm impressed by how it looked, definitely. But I'll have to, see a bit more, definitely.
Next on the cutting block, Jay.
Yes.
Everwild by Rare.
Right, so yeah, this is probably one of my how do I put this? Like, I was surprised by how much I want to play this game.
Correctamundo.
Like this kind of game, if you'd shown me a year ago, I'd have been like, I'm never playing this game. There's no, it just looks boring. But I don't know. I feel like I've like matured a little bit, and this game actually looks quite cool. Like I think a lot of the comments about it being almost like Ghibli feeling, like with their whole like nature and the morals of keeping the environment and everything. How one should be with nature. Sounds Ponzi at first, but if you've ever watched a Ghibli film, that's basically every Ghibli film. It's to do with the environment and nature and everything. And this actually looks kind of fun. I kind of want to like play it. If this, like I say, I'll get this on Game Pass, 100%. Definitely.
This was a surprise. We've seen this. It was announced, I think, last year or something.
See, honestly, this is the first time I've ever seen it, and I was surprised massively.
I mean, the announcement trailer was nothing. This trailer made me want to play this game.
Oh,
so
yeah, 100%.
Congratulations to the marketing, to the people making the game, because this game looks 100 times more interesting than anything I could have imagined.
It's a UK developer.
Yeah, 100%.
That's insane. Like, big up UK right now. Like, we're doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yes, we are. This looks like Rare's most interesting game in a very long time.
Rare have disappointed me at almost every stage they've ever. Whenever I've seen a Rare game, I've been like, this does not look good. The moment I see Rare, I'm like, yeah, right. I can skip. I might as well. Right. I might as well not even look at the screen, right?
Yeah.
Like, Rare is just not good to me. Like, their brand went down massively the last couple of years, but this has just bumped them up so high. Like, if this game's actually any good, Rare, in my eyes, Rare has just become another. They've reached the next level to me. They've definitely on the way back up, 100%. Yeah, no, this actually looks good. I'm kind of it almost kind of had a Journey type feel to me. I wonder if there'll be any dialogue. It looked a little bit like it's a dialogue-less game. What do you think? I feel like it'll kind of be like sounds like Zelda.
Yeah, or song.
Or song, yeah, some sort of like
Yeah.
interpretation through dance and song, yeah. Which I know sounds super like ponky and just. But I'm kind of interested in that now. Like I'm at that age where I'm like, yeah, this kind of seems peaceful and calm and nice.
It seems different, and that is surprising, I think.
Yeah. I think this is probably one of the bigger surprises of this event, actually, where I'm like, ooh, I actually wouldn't mind playing that. Yeah, definitely. They sold me on that. Even the woman who spoke about it afterwards, I was like, she seems cool. I'm actually kind of tempted to research the game a bit more now, and like look at the developers and see what else they've done to see if there's anything similar.
I
Yeah.
don't think there is.
Oh
Spoiler.
yeah, I wouldn't imagine so, but I wouldn't mind just looking up the developers and see what else they've either done or are planning to do in the future. So,
mate, Rare have a huge history. There's a
well,
game
no, I
called
think the actual people who are making it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I might be getting myself confused about like the development team. To me, it seems like Rare have been very small. Like they've just seemed so minute and not important the last couple of years. But this actually seems pretty. I don't know.
Well, you know Sea of Thieves, don't you?
Yeah, but to me, Sea of Thieves didn't really feel like a Rare thing to me.
Mm.
It just felt completely different. I don't know. Again, Sea of Thieves isn't really my bag, so I don't know. It does visually. It definitely looks how I imagine Rare to be, but in terms of how it plays, probably not as much. Yeah.
I was impressed by the visuals,
Yeah.
and that's got no release date on that one. Moving on, Jay.
Yeah.
A game from Dope Nod Entertainment, who made Life is Strange. We've seen this game before. It's called Tell Me Why.
Yeah.
Another episodic, story-driven game. Thoughts on this, Jay?
Yeah, that comes out pretty soon, actually, end of August. Well, the first chapter comes out.
First chapter,
it's supposed
August
to be a
27th.
I probably won't play this, but I like the idea of the story. Like, it almost reminds me of like a Walking Dead Telltale style kind of like thing. I think there'll definitely be a lot of people who will enjoy this game. I think it's what it's about is quite. I think so. It's about technically two little girls, and one of them becomes transgender in the future, becomes a man.
That's the brother?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that's what I remember hearing about this before. I remember looking it up when they first did the teaser for it, but I'm pretty sure that's like the main thing is the girl who became a man later on got chased out of their house, I think, by their mum who had a shotgun. Like the mum wasn't happy with
That's
him
what it looked like with the
transitioning.
trailer, yeah.
But I think that's like part of the mystery of the game. So I'm intrigued by that. I probably won't play it, but I'm more excited about how it almost feels like we've spoken before about games that have an agenda. This game doesn't seem like it's pushing it too hard. It almost feels like it's not trying to sell you on this needs to be said or this needs to be. You need to believe in this kind of thing. You know, you need to be okay with this. It's more of like this is a thing in the world. We're not going to like force it on you. You can play the game if you want. I kind of like that. Like with that game about that band with the animals. I forgot what the one at the last thing. I forgot what it's called, but whatever that one was.
Oh, we have to remember because the name
it had
fantastic.
a really cool name, didn't it? I might have to Google that.
It's like Soccomore High, you know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. It was something to do like a high school band or whatever. But
keep talking.
It was that sort of vein, whereas that game seemed like it maybe forced it on you, maybe slightly more. But I'm glad this exists, and I like the way it's stylized. Like I like the way they've marketed it so far. It definitely looks cool. The graphics actually weren't too bad. They definitely weren't great, but they weren't awful. It definitely seems like a PS4 or an Xbox type game, or it feels like more of like a previous generation type game rather than a next gen game. I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes. I think a lot of people will probably jump on it and make it feel more of an agenda down your throat type situation, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping it kind of just exists and happens rather than people saying this is like it almost feels like when a game like this comes out, people feel like it should be taught in school, right? But to me, it doesn't really feel like you shouldn't have to force this kind of thing on anybody. I'm glad it exists though. It does look good. It does look cool. I do like these kind of like storytelling type games. They can be quite fun. Like the Walking Dead Telltale stuff was very fun to play. So
goodbye, Volcano High.
there we go.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember that. But yes, this kind of like feels like that kind of vein, you know.
Yeah.
But that one does definitely kind of feel like it's a bit more pushed, whereas this one feels a little bit less pushed so far in the marketing. We'll have to see how it goes. Because the thing is, it's a very, you might agree or disagree with this, but it's a very risky thing to push the agenda too much on this style of game and what it talks about, because there's definitely there's a toxic side of all that can tend to actually bring down the marketing versus have it go up, which actually kind of says a lot about Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, because Last of Us obviously had a lot of bad press with its, you know, in quotes, agenda being pushed in its marketing, versus Ghost, which has no agenda, but a lot of people are trying to like shit on the game just because it's doing well, and it didn't push anything. It's just doing well out of the story and how good it's written or whatever. So I feel like, yeah, we'll have to wait and see where it goes. But again, I'm glad it exists and hope it does well, you know.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm. I thought that they tackled some interesting topics. It was
definitely
nostalgic, it was sweet, it was scary. And I thought Before the Storm did an amazing job at making you care about characters which you already knew the outcome of. And I didn't play Life is Strange 2 because I had heard that from my good friend that they push you to play characters which at the end of the day are unlikable.
Okay.
And I,
Sounds familiar.
oh yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I for one like the Last of Us Part 2 approach, which is we are presenting the story, we make no judgments about you, the player.
Yes.
And I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If this, like you say, Jay, if this game, and that goes for any kind of ideology for me.
It goes for absolutely anything, whether it be, that or the opposite, or like opinions. At the end of the day,
pro-capitalist, anti-capitalist,
or anti-anything. You shouldn't ever push anything on anybody.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think you're right or you're wrong. Never ever push any. And you should never put that ideology first. You should always put a good story first. Like, as long as it's a good story, anything else that has any amount of like lesson or moral being learned at the end of the day should come second. Like, it should be almost passive. It should be like osmosis. It should happen through the story. It should never be that first, then the story. It should always be story first. And that's how you know a good game from a bad game, or a good film from a good film, or a good TV show from a bad TV show. You know, that's how it should be. If it's worked in the past, it's always going to work. It's just how it is.
If it goes agenda and then story, I think that's where things start to go
wrong. It'll almost always fail. Yeah.
Agreed. Like you, Jay, I'm excited to see how this does, how much traction it gets. I believe in Don't Nod. I think they can tell amazing stories, and hopefully.
So what else have they done? I can't remember.
They did Vampire, Jay.
Hang on, Don't Nod.
I just told you. You just ignored.
Yeah, I know. No, I heard you. They did Vampire.
They did.
Oh, that's surprising.
I did just say that. And they also did Remember Me, 2013 game, I think.
They did do Vampire, yeah. That's insane. Oh yeah, I remember Me. That was actually really good. I really liked that.
Was it?
Yeah, that was based
you played it
in Paris. I did. Yeah, I really liked that game.
History dip coming up.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now that I know that they did Vampire, that's actually made me think a little bit more highly of it. Actually,
I think they're a top AA developer.
Oh, definitely a AA, massively. I think, Life is Strange definitely did some good there. So
it did, and I liked it a lot. I think you would enjoy certain elements of it a lot, Jay. Actually, I think you'd love the music. I think you'd love the high school vibe. I think you'd love the photography.
Yeah, I think maybe in a different. If I was, I don't know. I think
I'm not saying you should play it. I'm just saying.
I think if I was on a different timeline, if I was someone slightly different, I'd probably want to play it. I don't know. It might be just outside my bag. It's right there.
Sure.
Okay,
Jay. Next one was a bit like the GTA announcement for me, where a optimized version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps is coming.
Yeah, I know someone who's very excited about that, so I'm glad for them. Yeah, I'm kind of want to potentially go back and play the Ori games. They look quite fun.
They've got a fan base, and I think rightfully so.
I was glad they showed the optimization between 60 frames and 100, 120. It definitely looked a lot better.
Very useful comparison.
Yeah.
My question, Jay, is why make a trailer for this when lots of games are being optimized for Series X? Do you think this one in particular is extra special?
Yeah, I think because Ori has got quite a large, I don't know if it's got a large, but it's definitely got enough of a fan base for it to warrant a position where it did versus other games. I think other games have been shown. I think also because Ori might not be as well known versus other ones that have also been optimized. So they want maybe the developers maybe had like a thing to Xbox. They were like, hey, can you show us off a bit more? Because we know we have a feeling, or some sort of market research where they know they're going to get a good bump from this. So
this is a great game. Show people it again.
Show it. Show people that we're making it better and that it's a thing, because it might have also been like a marketing thing in terms of they might have a contract with. I'm pretty sure Ori is Xbox exclusive, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So they might have even contractually been. It might have been part of their contract. They might have even when they sat down to sign everything, they might have been like, look, we want to market our game a bit more than usual, so can we maybe pay you extra and you market it a bit more even during the events, or that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm glad it's getting traction, because I kind of want to see more from that developer actually, what else they could make, whether they do a similar type game in the future. I don't know.
I completely agree, Jay. It's one of those developers which have got a lot of talent,
very consistent, like consistently good. Like I can't think of anything bad they've done. So
they make making those Ori games look easy.
Yeah. I think if you compare the first Ori game to the one after, it's like such a big leap. Like they learned so much from their previous games that they improved it so much. So yeah,
it makes me sad because they almost don't get the traction they deserve. To me, maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yeah.
Jay, this was one of these announcements which made complete sense, but for whatever reason we didn't predict.
Okay.
So, Obsidian Entertainment, makers of the Outer Worlds, they're making DLC for it, coming out very soon, September 9th. First of 2 expansions, makes complete sense, completely in line with that Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas DLC roadmap. Your thoughts, Jay, on this?
I'm still trying to get into that game. I do like it a lot, but I'm still not like in that Fallout mode at the moment. I'm just not enjoying myself with it. I actually tried recently. I think I tried about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I downloaded it again, just started playing it. I was like, yeah, I just can't get into this right now. And it looks like one of those games where I know I would enjoy it. I think if the game came out 4 or 5 years ago, I probably would have enjoyed it so much more. I'm just not in it at the minute. I don't know. I might have to just stay away from it long enough where I have to fall back in love with it. So I might come back to it after all the DLC comes out and just enjoy it that way. I don't know.
And I'm sure there'll be a Series X edition where you'll probably have all the DLC in it. Or
it's probably
like
on smart delivery, more than likely. So
true. Yeah. I don't see myself getting into this game ever, for whatever reason.
I think you will, for the same reason why you probably went back to Skyrim. Ooh. I think it might be one of those games you come to in maybe a decade and be like, why did I never play this?
I think you're right, Jay. But for right now,
no.
To give you
perspective, on your radar.
I would rather play Fallout 76 than Outer Worlds.
Sure.
That's just where my head's at.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just at the minute those style of games just really aren't.
Yeah.
I've played so much Fallout in the past, and it's just sort of made me a bit numb to it.
Yeah.
I need to forget about it and to then fall back in love with it eventually. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, not worry about this and just think about other things. Too many things to think about at the minute.
That's true. And along with the Obsidian line, Jay, their next game coming out is a smaller project for them called Grounded. We've seen a lot of it before.
Kind of surprised me. I'm kind of liking it a little bit. I don't think I'll play it, but they made a good note in the stream where if it has a really good narrative, it might actually be a pretty good game. Even though it's a survival game, it's still it actually looks very detailed. The further back you go, I think the more cartoony it looks. but the closer up you get, it actually looks pretty detailed, and I'm kind of surprised Obsidian are the ones making this game. I think if anybody else made this game, it wouldn't look as good. Like I think people would. It obviously looks very cartoony, but it looks less cartoony than what I imagined a game like this. If this game on paper to me feels like a Fortnite style game, right? Like Fortnite survival, but looking at it, it looks a lot more like an RPG survival game. I think it has potential to be really good. I'm looking forward to see how people play it. Definitely.
Yeah, agreed. And how streamers react. I think it'll be a solid game.
Yeah.
And they did a clever marketing strategy of making the trailer genuinely funny and completely
that was so
on the nose.
What they did. They said about, if you want a big game, wait for Cyberpunk. I thought that was so smart how they did that.
It was funny, but the thing is, Jay, maybe I'm being too coy with this. As soon as they said that, all I just ended up thinking about was Cyberpunk for 30 seconds.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, Cyberpunk, yeah, cool.
And I think it's a clever strategy. It makes you laugh. It makes you go, oh, that Grounded trailer was funny. The games that Obsidian...
We're still thinking about it. That's the whole point about marketing.
It's true. It's true. And it's like, oh, that game that Obsidian always makes, the RPGs, this is not like that. And I hope this game finds an audience because I'm sure it will have an element of fun in it.
To me,
I'll never touch
games are starting to feel a bit numb in the same way that zombie games are starting to feel a bit, outdated. In the same way that Fallout is starting to feel a little bit like, for me at least. Like, I don't know, survivor games just seem a bit naff at the minute. They kind of feel like they need to die. But if this can be good and change the game, then by all means give it a go. See what happens. I'm sure streamers will play it for a little while, but again, there's so many games where even Fortnite back in the day was like, oh, it's a build survival type thing, but it blew up massively. So it has, never ever judge a book by its cover, but it definitely looks like any game has the potential to blow up. So roll the dice. We'll have to just take a gamble and see what happens, I suppose.
The next game, Jay, was the closest thing I think we got to an indie game. I think it is an indie game. And that is the interactive drama called As Dusk Falls from a new studio by the looks of things.
UK studio as well.
Yeah. No release date. I'll just quickly say my piece about this game, if that's okay, Jay. This is my least interested level throughout the whole show, and I'm not trying to put As Dusk Falls down, just not my game. What do you think about this?
I wouldn't say it's my least, but it's definitely not up there. It definitely, stylized wise, it looks pretty amazing. Like how they've done, because I think what they've done is what they showed in the trailer was that they actually filmed every scene, took a picture of each scene important part, and then literally painted over each of the characters.
I thought they did that. Yeah,
they did. So they actually set up a studio. They took pictures of every scene they wanted to have in the game, and then literally painted every single one, which I thought was so smart. It's such an interesting way of doing things. It saves on time because you have to animate everything. It's very well done. Budget, it's basically getting the max quality you can get out of a budget game.
Yes.
Like they took all the shortcuts to make it as good as they possibly could on the budget they had, which I think is a very good step. It's a very good start and a very good stepping stone, milestone to be able to obviously make what they want to make next. I have a feeling this company is probably going to make something a lot better next time around. And this game, I think, is trying to also not necessarily have an agenda, but it's definitely trying to normalize certain things, which is good. Again, it didn't seem too forceful, which is good. And I think the story, it being a drama, I think it definitely has an audience. Maybe not necessarily us, but I definitely, again, this will be streamers will probably play this. It seems very streamer friendly, which is fine. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the company does next, honestly. Whether it be a similar type thing or if it's going to be more detail. Because the background actually looked animated. It looked like 3D models. But the initial characters looked were just paintings that moved, side to side or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't my favorite thing, but it wasn't my least, I don't think. It looks interesting. I'm intrigued. Won't play it, but it looks fine.
I just checked the games we've got to talk about, Jay. There is more than expected. So if it's okay with you, we shall be continuing.
Okay.
HELLBLADE 2, small announcement.
Yeah, small, yeah.
Good to see they're working on it. It is an absolute necessity for the Xbox portfolio. It's going to be set in Iceland. And to Jay's point, he was right about this and I was wrong. Looks like people are already using Unreal Engine 5 from the developer point of view, so we should be expecting games to look way better than expected as far as I'm concerned. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, no, I'm glad that they're making this game, Ninja Theory. I mean, we obviously already knew about it because I spoke about it before, but yeah, I mean, I didn't play the first one, but I know enough about it I think visually it's going to look amazing, and story-wise, I think this is going to win a lot of awards. I can tell you that right now, because the first one won so many, didn't it? Didn't it win like best game for like a certain award or something, like a certain?
I think it could have, yeah.
It won a lot, I think, a lot, like last year or whenever it was 2 years ago. So yeah, I think it'll.
The first game?
Yeah, it won. It won.
2017, mate.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
I think these kind of games are ones that tend to like push the boundaries of what's possible, both visually and story wise. So I think, yeah, I'm happy to see boundaries being pushed. So it looks amazing. Looks insane. I like it when it looks very metal. I think that's definitely a good word for it. It looks very like heavy, man. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this. I probably won't play it, but it looks fine.
Psychonauts 2, Jay, we spoke about this briefly.
Yes, before. It looks awesome. It looks
so really
good.
Cool.
Again, there's people online who I follow who I know are going to be so excited about this. You were saying about how Jack Black does a song for the game?
Yeah.
Which is like, I had a feeling I had like a very, like in the back of my mind, I kind of already knew that. But yeah, I'm excited because Jack Black feels very Double Fine, doesn't he? So like he fits that sounding and that aesthetic with this game very well. So I'm happy about that. That's a very cool detail about the game.
Agreed.
This actually kind of makes me want to go back and play the first one.
Give it a go.
Or I might even just like watch a gameplay of someone play it and then play this, just so I know story-wise what's going on. I have a vague idea. I seem to remember watching maybe 1 or 2 hours of a gameplay previously and being like, I wouldn't mind continuing this in the future. So I'll probably come back to it and yeah, learn what the story is and then potentially play. If this is on Game Pass, I'll probably play it on that. So
true.
Yeah. Definitely.
Destiny 2, Jay. This is fairly important. So for me.
Yeah, for you, definitely.
The optimized Series X version will be 4K 60 frames per second. Not only that, but Destiny 2 and all the current expansions are coming to Xbox Game Pass in September, which is huge news for me.
Massive.
And as you again mentioned earlier, Jay, before we recorded, I think Destiny 2 Beyond Light is delayed until November 10th.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be September 19th, but it's now closer to launch of the actual console, so which makes a lot more sense. Which is good because I guess they can just do some more tweaks, make it even better than it was probably supposed to be. So,
Jay, they kept using this marketing motto called console launch exclusive, which annoyed me because that isn't console exclusive, is it? It just means that it launches exclusively on that console. Am I incorrect in that? Because that is the vibe I got.
Honestly, I don't know. Did they use that for Destiny?
No.
In that case, then I think
throughout the conference they kept saying
I think the ones that they said were exclusive or console launch exclusive were actually launch titles.
I see.
Because they all say all the expected dates for them to be released are holiday 2020. Which
you say that
in code means launch title.
You say that, Jay. I saw one which had the launch exclusive blah 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 blah. But it was coming in 2021, I swear.
Yeah, in that case, then probably not.
I swear. I could be wrong about that, but I swear it came up with that.
It's hard to say. I'd have to properly look into that, but yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that because from this point forward, as far as I'm aware, these are all console exclusives, what we're going to talk about. Stalker 2, got no idea what the first one is, got no idea what this is.
It's fairly important because it's a PC game that has quite a. I think Stalker 1 came out so long ago. It's like one of those games that's been awaited for so long that the fact that it's even been announced is like insane, right? So yeah, the first one came out in 2007.
Okay.
So 13. The people have been waiting for this game for 13 years.
Was it a horror game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say there's been other games past that, but they weren't as good, as good as what it's expected to be in the second one. I'm actually potentially looking forward to this. I've always wanted to play a Metro style game, or a Metro-looking game because it's sort of based in Chernobyl. So
I saw that. I thought it might have been Metro on the trailer.
yeah, it's one of those type. It's what I think it's basically Metro before Metro. I think it's actually the game that came out before Metro that's supposed to be similar. Like there's a lot of source materials that came out around the same time with Metro and Stalker. So yeah, no, I'm kind of looking forward to this. I'm kind of hoping to see it's like the next gen version of Stalker, because the first one was very like stylized in a certain way that made it seem, quite good. So I'm glad for the people who have been waiting for this for a long time. Yeah, it seems like it could be quite good. I have to see some gameplay on this and make my mind up.
Yeah,
happy about it.
Joe, the mystery is solved. The next game is the game that is coming out in 2021, but had the console launch exclusive thing on it.
Yeah.
So it's Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Cool name.
Cool.
I have no expertise on this. I think you do. Do you want to maybe tell the people what is going on here? It looks like a bit of a horror space game. I
don't know exactly what the game's going to be, but sure. I'm one of these people who love Warhammer games. I'm thinking it's probably going to be some sort of like horde mode, like 4-player co-op. Maybe it might even be some sort of like dungeon crawler type thing. There's a game that's coming out, I don't know if it's already out, called GTFO. Do you know about this?
Yes, I do, yes.
Which is a very similar looking type game where it's, 4-player co-op multiplayer, and you kind of work your way through these like dungeon levels, and it gets harder, and there's like enemies like zombie type things you do, shoot through dark spaces with your flashlight. It looks like a very similar type thing, but with a Warhammer, sticker on top. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this could be. Previous Warhammer titles have always disappointed me, so I'm hoping I'm actually going to get something good out of Warhammer finally.
Did you play Vermintide 2?
I played the first one. Didn't mind it. It crashed a lot though.
Okay, on PC?
No, on console, PlayStation.
Okay. Jay, is this a system seller, Warhammer games? Okay.
Wouldn't say so. They've usually been quite disappointing previously. I'd say the last good Warhammer game was Chaos Bane, which was the Diablo Warhammer type game. But that wasn't 40k, see that's the thing. 40k games have been quite disappointing before that, so there is a difference, but yeah. Hopefully it's good. I have a lot of expectations, so we'll see.
Hopefully they can buckle the trend.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully they put some good money and time into it, finally.
The best-selling game of all time, apparently and wrongly, is continuing, Jay. Tetris Effect. What was the VR game? A lot of people like it a lot. I don't actually play Tetris.
This game's technically already out. It's just like a new
Tetris Effect is out. Yeah, this is called Tetris Effect Connected.
Yeah.
So it's coming out this year. Could be at launch. And
pretty sure it will
looks like it's a multiplayer and console version of the game, I believe. So if you like Tetris, fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
They're out there. They do exist.
This game looked interesting, Jay. Called the Gunk, from the creators of Steam World. I might have to look up that game. This looked like you were vacuuming little gunk on different planets and stuff. So what were your impressions from this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been a bit mixed on this. It looks like it has a lot of potential to be quite fun. Not sure exactly how I feel about it, honestly.
Not much?
I don't know what it is, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Definitely stylized in a certain way that looks fun. Yeah. I mean, looks good. I have to wait to see more.
Yes, no, I thought it was the developers of SteamWorld is the game I thought it was.
It is,
or the game series, and now it's like in a 3D space, so that is cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so they've gone from like a 2D side-scrolling thing to more of an actual 3D proper game. So.
Looks like they're getting in that AA space. Fair play, man. Fair play.
Definitely trying to get into AA space, 100%, yeah.
This game looked like the most interesting technically to me.
Okay.
The medium.
Yeah,
the dual reality trait.
Last thing.
Say it again, sorry, mate.
We saw this game at the last Xbox event.
Yes.
I think it was right to Scorn, I want to say.
Did we see the dual reality gameplay at work then? No, that was really awesome.
We kind of knew it was coming, I think, because they had like a developer diary after in the previous event, which I know you probably didn't watch. I watched it on a separate video thing. They spoke a little bit about that, but they didn't say exactly what it was, but they've definitely gone to more depth with this event. Yeah, the fact that you basically play 2 games in one and that they're both rendered separately is insane. Like that definitely shows how much power these consoles have the potential of having. So that's pretty. Like you're basically playing 2 games at once, which is insane. Yeah, no, this looks cool. This looks like one of those games that I am very 50-50 on. Like I'll either play it or I won't, and it'll come right down to the wire whether I pre-order or not. I doubt it, but
I can see a lot of streamers picking this up. Could be wrong about that.
Very streamer friendly, with it being a horror survival type thing. I think the way it's stylized is quite cool. The people behind it.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but Eastern Europeans make such good games. They're very they go a lot of detail into games like this. So yeah, whenever I see an Eastern European, Polish developers are so, what's the word? They get very deep into wanting to make a good game. So I'm looking forward to what this has the potential to be. So
I think they're masters of atmosphere, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, they're very good at making atmospheric and stylized horror games. So
that's one of the things about Witcher which really stands out to you.
Oh yeah, the way it looks is just,
and the atmosphere is unparalleled.
They're very good at that. Yeah, they're very good.
This is a big deal for, I think, you, Jay. Maybe me as well. New Genesis Phantasy Star Online 2. More news on it. I thought it was already out. I don't know what's going on. Mixed messaging, but it's coming in 2021.
Yeah, this is basically like an updated version of the one that's already out. I want to say. I think it's supposed to be like because the one that's out is actually just like a HD version of the old game. Whereas this one is like a completely new version of the old game. It's like a rebooted version. It's supposed to be like much better graphics, much better like a new story and stuff like that. I want to say. So I'll probably won't play it just because I probably have better things to do. Like it seems fine. It's just maybe not for me at the minute. I know there's gonna be people who are going to be playing this, so I'll be looking forward to watching other people play it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Crossfire X. We got a campaign trailer.
Yeah, not too. I mean, weirdly, it kind of actually seemed like very detailed and very thought through. I was kind of impressed with how good it looked. Actually, I won't play it, but yeah, it seems like it actually has a lot of potential for future games that are like Crossfire. Because Crossfire at the minute is just like just a multiplayer game, isn't it? So it actually looks like it almost reminded me of like a full length Call of Duty campaign style. Like it seemed like that good of a quality of a campaign. So I'm kind of want to see how good it is before I play it, but I don't know. I won't touch it. I don't think. I just not.
Me neither.
I really don't see myself even playing like any campaign of any other Call of Duty style game at this point. I haven't touched a campaign since I can't remember. Probably Black Ops 3, maybe. But maybe before that, I don't know. It's been a while since I've touched a campaign. Maybe Ghosts. I don't know. It's been a while, so I'm not really for campaigns on Call of Duty anymore, or any style of game like that. So it looked good. I will give it that it looked very in depth and detailed and quality. So I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I think I want to talk about the next thing because I'm so excited to talk about it. Sorry to cut you off, man.
No, that's good.
I mean, Crossfire X, I agree, Jay. It looks cool, but it's just not for me. Like, it looks like they've put a lot of effort in, but not for me or us. Jay, this is what we've been waiting for. It's like the worst kept secret in gaming industry. FABLE reboot got announced. The trailer was perfect. I'm looking at the image. It looks like it's Fairfax Castle in the background, or at least like that built-up bit of Albion. I can't wait for this game. What do you want to say, Jay?
I'm glad it's a reboot. I'm glad it's not 4.
Yes.
I'm glad they kept the comedy aspect.
Yes, it's so important. The fairy and the magic, and I was like, yes, emphasis on magic. That's good. That's a new little twist you can do. And then the frog just gets the fairy. Like, I mean, that's just Fable, isn't it?
See, whenever I think of Fable, I think of like kicking chickens.
Exactly.
That's what I want from my Fable. I want to be able to kick chickens.
Chicken
and
chaser.
I want toads to be able to eat fairies. That's all I want. It seemed like a very more green. It seemed like a much more green Fable than we've had before. I remember saying before.
Expected less industrial.
Well, no, for me, I feel like even Fable 1 was very, like I said, it had a very maroon sort of autumn colour style to it, whereas this one feels a bit more spring. You know, it feels like it's sort of the next season of Fable. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm excited for it. I want to see some gameplay really bad. I'm kind of hope. Would you rather it be the old style of Fable where it was like the characters were quite cartoony, or would you want it to be a bit more realistic looking, like normal proportions of body, if you know what I mean? Like the body proportions were quite odd in previous Fables, like very short legs, long torsos, and quite big heads. Would you want it to be normal or the same?
I think as the series moved on, they got more cartoony. I think you go semi-realistic.
Yeah, half and half, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see a bit more detail in my environments and my animals and my magic use and my weapons. Do you think they'll go first person?
Nope.
Okay. Kind of
too much bad blood with the Fable the Journey.
Okay, good.
Jay, I want to take this opportunity to illustrate what Xbox could have done to make this better.
Okay.
Firstly, where's the Cuphead DLC?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. That's going to be next. It's going to be in August.
Secondly, I'll do this going backwards. Fable should have had gameplay.
Not necessarily.
I'm just letting you know what would have made me crazy.
Yes. In terms of what would have made you happy, 100%, and me happy. But in terms of like marketing and keeping things fresh, you definitely want to go with a teaser, 100%.
You're right. Psychonauts 2, no release date. Okay.
Yeah,
Hellblade 2, no release window.
I'm not worried about that.
As Dusk Falls, no release date.
That's fine.
Grounded, sure.
Yeah.
Cool looking game. Outer Worlds DLC, fair play. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps, specialized version. Pretty sure that's what a lot of other games are doing. But I like the 60 to 120 hertz comparison.
Massive.
Tell me why. Really
Tell
cool.
Me why.
Oh wait, no. You were doing Boyzone, weren't you?
I can't remember who it is.
Ain't nothing matters than I said.
I forgot.
Backstreet Boys, right? Oh yeah, of course it is. Oh
yeah.
no.
Go on, continue.
Tell me why. Really cool. AA. Bit niche. EVERWILD. No gameplay. No release date.
That's fine.
Forza Motorsport. No real gameplay. No release date. State of Decay 3. No gameplay. No release date. Halo Infinite looks great. Doesn't look like a masterpiece, but looks really, really good. All right, and then I'm just going off the bat here. I'm just going completely off the bat here. Spider-Man. Pretty sure we saw gameplay in that.
No, we didn't see like HUD and everything.
True, but we did see like a little bit of,
bit of sort of cutscenes.
Yeah, you're right. We did see
cutscenes. Barely a cutscene.
Horizon 2 was pretty much game. Like, it was cinematics, but it was pretty much gameplay, as far as I'm concerned. Riding the horse and stuff.
It was as much gameplay as the Valhalla initial gameplay was gameplay. It wasn't gameplay.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just...
You want more? Is what it sounds like.
It needed more, mate. It needed more.
Well, this is the point. This is what is good. What makes TV shows last as long as they do is that they hold back. They want to keep things from you so that you get more excited near the time.
I just don't, Jay. I don't think they have anything to show.
Yeah, that does worry me. It's almost kind of like they don't have anything.
And I'm not saying they don't have anything in the pipeline. I'm saying they don't have anything ready to show.
Ready yet? I reckon they'll actually have stuff like that ready. Maybe summer next year.
It's almost like too late, though, isn't it?
It's probably why they're trying to extend it as long as they can, because they know they're not going to be able to get out in time. It almost feels like they started making games maybe half a year too late.
Yeah.
The technology didn't quite get there in time.
Yeah.
Also, I guess you could say that I guess you could blame it on recent events. You know, a 4 or 5 year, or no, 4 or 5 month hiatus in quotes is going to affect things. You know, we could have been seeing stuff if development had been going a bit stronger, maybe. You know, it's hard to say, but I think it might be a good thing in the long run. You don't want too much all at once. You want cliffhangers. You want to hold back, definitely. I think for the good of the history of gaming, you want to hold back as much as you possibly can. You don't want to. I guess you could say that maybe showing too little affects overall hype, or maybe like history in terms of like, oh, this could have been the best games showcase ever. But I'm sure there's still time for that in the future.
There is. For me, Jay, this has cemented my reaffirmation of a PlayStation faithful. I truly believe, heart in, heart out, that PlayStation is the best console, and I think Xbox 360, there is an absolute argument there to say that that could be better than the PS3, depending on what games you like. But realistically, the PS4 has better games than the Xbox One, and it looks like the PS5 is going to have better games than the Xbox Series X. I don't know what your thoughts are, Jay, on your moving. Has this not cemented the idea that you'll basically be getting a PS5 first? Or at least that's more of a priority?
Yeah, I think because of Cyberpunk and Valhalla, Xbox is probably going to be first.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is coming out. PS5, November.
So the third party has saved the Xbox for you?
I think so. I'm trying to think what's coming out. Release PS5. What's the release titles? Like, do we know yet?
Not officially.
I think once I know, it might change. We've still got time to be able to show some things off.
We need Phase 3, Jay. We need the launch lineups announced.
Yeah, we need launch lineups, which is going to be middle of next month, I'd say.
We need prices. How much are these things going to cost?
That's my biggest worry at the minute. I won't say worry, but like just concern.
My friend, again,
if it's anything more than $550, I'll be pissed.
No way. There's no way, Jay. No way.
Possible, very possible.
No way.
Yep.
You want to bet? You want to bet at McDonald's?
No, but if I had to guess, I think the one without the hard drive will be 500. The one with will be more.
Do you mean disk drive? Sorry,
disk drive. Yeah.
Yeah. The
one with disk drive will be 550 on both sides, and the one without will be 500.
Okay.
Anything more than 550 will be annoying.
Really breaking the bank there.
Yeah, it'll probably hurt sales a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, mate. Well, it's been a pleasure going through the Xbox showcase with you, mate.
I mean, you missed a big one.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah, you missed probably one of the biggest ones out there, and I'm very surprised you missed it.
Go on.
Avowed.
Of course I did. Please
Obsidian's third game.
Yes.
Basically, probably one of the most anticipated games on this list for me, just because of the potential.
Yes.
So the biggest things I took from that CG trailer was Skyrim.
Oh my god, it's like we're the same brain.
Wait. So it's basically Skyrim during medieval times, but made by the same people who made New Vegas. But with magic that looks very reminiscent of Doctor Strange. Like it almost looked like he had like a time Doctor Strange thing on his left hand, which looked insane to me. If this game is anything like how I imagine, it's probably going to be better than Skyrim. And that's saying a lot, I know.
Because Are you sure about that?
I feel like Obsidian is trying very hard to beat Bethesda when it comes to Skyrim. I think that this is their version of Skyrim, and they're being like, hey, Bethesda, we're still in this. Like, don't come at us like, just because we had to copy Fallout and make it different doesn't mean we're going to also have, an attempt at Skyrim too. So watch out, Bethesda, watch your backs. I think this is basically Obsidian's version of like, well, their way of saying that we know Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out. We need to make something just as good, if not, maybe slightly less as good. But this has a lot of potential. Because there's that new MMO, I think it might even just be an RPG called New World coming out
by Amazon
that looks very similar in terms of like the medieval type look and magic type look, but it doesn't look as good definitely as what I imagine this Obsidian thing is going to be. As soon as I see gameplay, I think I'll know whether this is actually going to be how I imagine it. I imagine it being like Skyrim, but almost like a hellish version of like medieval time England, with some Doctor Strange style magic, which just I love Doctor Strange, so I can't wait to be casting all. Oh man, I don't know. There's definitely, I don't know. It seemed like it was going to be in first person. What do you think about first person? Do you think it's going to be fine with this, or?
Yeah, man, I think it'll work well.
Just in the same way Skyrim did. I'm hoping it's going to be just a massive improvement on what Skyrim was.
You would hope after over 10 years it would be, but Jay, I think you're jump into Skyrim for a couple of hours and then, you're really...
Skyrim kind of has its place. I think you kind of have to like not even compare it to Skyrim at this point and just say that this is this generation's Skyrim.
No, that's very ambitious, Jay.
Well, you know what I mean, like in terms of
the type of game.
In terms of the type of game, not necessarily its scope. Its scope may be close, or maybe even reach it. But Skyrim, the reason why Skyrim is so big is because you can play it on literally every console,
and Alexa,
and mobile, and you can literally play it on everything. And it's probably Xbox. It wasn't Xbox exclusive, was it? No, it's PlayStation as well. It's probably one of the biggest RPGs in the last 10 years, right? So Obsidian need to make something, or at least attempt to make something just as good, if not better. So I think this is this generation's Skyrim, as long as you don't count the next Elder Scrolls. So I think Elder Scrolls won't be Skyrim. It'll be different. It'll be more like Obsidian.
I agree that Elder Scrolls.
Oblivion.
I agree that Elder Scrolls 6 will not be like Skyrim.
No, I wouldn't even want to attempt to compare it. Not necessarily. I think
if you do the same scale as Skyrim, the only way to improve that I'd say is to go deeper, perhaps. But then even then, you start to outplay us because it's not casual enough. So
I kind of want Elder Scrolls 6 to be Oblivion 2. But not,
mate,
not,
you're speaking
not really.
to the choir here.
You know what I mean, though. It kind of looks like it's going to be that. That's kind of how
needs to have that. It needs to have that sewer effect and that Fallout 3 effect of you go out of the vault or you go out of the sewer, and it's like, what?
Yeah. It needs to be a place you can come out 100%. You come out of this door, and it's just like this bright white light, and you're now in the world. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't had that in a while.
Dude, I'm super excited to talk about that. What's the game called?
Avowed.
I'm super excited. It is. I'm excited to talk with you about this game. I think this is going to be both on our radars quite intensely for the next few years.
Massively. Yeah, this is going to be big. This is going to be.
And that was, you're right, Jay. That was a big reveal for that showcase. Yeah. Anything else that I missed?
No, I think that was it. Just a quick thing on what avowed means.
Go on.
If I use it in context, an avowed atheist, someone who has been asserted, admitted, or stated publicly. It basically means like, this is an avowed atheist is someone who believes very strongly what they are. It's
well known they're atheist.
Yeah. So I kind of just trying to think like what that could possibly mean for the game itself. Don't really know.
I mean, you could be avowed to.
Have you seen? What's that film? There's a film that came out that's, I think, based on another thing that's very sort of like Middle Ages, sort of like religious almost, but has this sort of like Witcher type feel to it, which I imagine this game is going to kind of be like. I have a feeling that the avowed things is probably going to be like almost like a cult or a religion type thing that you're going to have to face, like some sort of enemy that's maybe quite cultish or quite religious, maybe.
Could be, yeah.
But it'll be more. I'm thinking it'll be quite maybe like Templarish, maybe like Dante's Inferno, kind of like hell and stuff like that. So there's a lot that it could possibly be. Just my expectations are quite high right now, so I'll wait to see the gameplay, and then we'll come back to this. It's definitely on my radar.
100%.
Big on the
And with
radar.
that, Jay, we have gone through the showcase.
Oh,
Phase
that was a
2 is
lot.
over. Relax.
That was an awful lot, wasn't it?
A proposed accent for the next movement, Jay.
Okay.
After an inspiring visit to the cinema where me and India watched Notting Hill, my favourite rom-com ever.
Oh, I haven't seen it all the way through.
Crikey.
Go on.
And I'm going to do Hugh Grant from the film. Okay.
Do you know, you are freaking me out, my guy.
Why?
It's scaring the hell out of me. We're so, like, on the same wavelength today. I don't know why, but when I was sitting downstairs watching the stream, just after the stream, I thought to myself, if Nick's going to do an accent, is he going to do, like, a posh British accent next?
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I'm not joking when I say this. My first thought was, is he going to do, like, a Hugh Grant thing? And I know this sounds way too, like...
Yeah.
far-fetched, but that actually came into my head, like, about 3 or 4 hours ago. You're freaking... Honestly, I really think we're, like, connected somehow. We were like brothers in a previous life. This is freaking me out.
Yeah, that's weird. And it's even freakier because we used to live so close. Do you remember that when we're like... I think we walked home from middle school or something. It's like, you live there? But I live like 2 minutes that way. You know, it was so weird.
I'm pointing towards your house. I'm literally like, it's right there.
Yeah, literally.
Like, it's right there. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to try my best. So, no saliva.
Oh, okay.
A bit of pretentiousness and very Britishness. Okay, so. Oh my goodness! Did I spill coffee on you? Oh, I'm so sorry. I've just come opposite. Yes, it's just the number 10 door with the blue door. The blue door. Yeah. Oh, have some tea. Would you like some tea? That's as British as I'm gonna go because like.
I mean, you already are, but that's funny. That's really. Funny.
I've made a daft prick for myself. You know, that's because again we're already British, aren't we? So you can only go so British when you're British. Do you know what I mean?
Saying British way too much.
British.
Yeah, sure.
I thought that was okay anyway. Yeah, I thought that was okay. Would you like to have a go, Jay?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, all right. One news story this week for you people.
I mean, like, yeah, a few. I'll say one thing about that really quick, about that how Ubisoft, until the end of this year, are going to keep their prices at what they are now.
Yeah, for their games. Yeah, I saw that.
At the start of next year, they're going to probably potentially go up.
It seems all... It literally, Jay, I'm flapping my arms. That's what I feel like the pricing is. It's just like, who knows? Some publishers are changing. Who knows?
I think Ubisoft are being a bit cautious, whereas other companies are being less cautious. It's a big gamble to to bump up the price. It's a big gamble, big gamble. So we'll have to wait and see on how that affects things. Yeah. So other than that, Godfall, PS5 exclusive. Got some news on that.
Hold on a minute. This isn't the news story. What are you doing to me?
What do you mean?
Godfall. Oh, apologies. I didn't see your other one.
Yeah,
sorry, mate. Sorry. We've got 2 news stories. I apologise.
So this was the thing that a lot of people, I was definitely curious about whether Godfall was going to have microtransactions or not. And it says here that they won't. Developers say it isn't game as service, which is basically, like a microtransaction thing. I guess it'll have like a similar thing to like Destiny and Anthem. Well, it'll have end game content, and that'll be as much as we need, I guess. I didn't really think too much of this game would have microtransactions. I guess they're probably going more off of the Destiny model of that Destiny has microtransactions when it comes to like skins and stuff like that, which isn't really that cool, I guess. But I'm kind of glad about this. I'm kind of glad it's just sticking to what it is. I imagine they'll probably get the money from sales and they'll add on to it with DLCs and like a year-long plan, like a roadmap of some sorts, hopefully.
Do you think so? No microtransactions, even cosmetics?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs it, but I think there'll be enough in game already that you'll be able to change how you look. I imagine with like loot drops
Right.
potentially, stuff like that. So
Oh, right. Developers say it isn't a games as a service.
yeah,
That is shocking.
I think that's quite good because I think there's a lot of stigma around microtransactions right now, isn't there? So the
Yeah.
fact that they've had to declare that there's no microtransactions actually helps them because they're like, oh, people are like, oh, we don't have to, worry about having to potentially be, scammed out of money, in quotes, scammed, gambling or whatever with like loot boxes and stuff. So yeah, no, that's good. That's good. It's just a little bit of news that's fairly interesting.
What's interesting about this, Jay, is that it seems like we as gamers have completely mistaken this game as a games as a service, I guess.
Yeah, I think some people were probably not as. That's probably why they've said it, because there were probably enough people. They're probably getting feedback from people being like, "Well, aren't I going to have to pay in game for like certain things?" And they're like, "No, no, 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 don't get it twisted." And they had to like actually declare it properly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I was necessarily worried about that too much. I think it just had. It kind of has to be said nowadays, even though it shouldn't need to be. It just kind of has to be, just so people, as like a good marketing strategy more than anything else.
And that was from an interview with Godfall technical producer Richard Hain with RX Gaming.
Who I mentioned earlier, yeah.
Apologies.
No, that's fine. No, I mean I mentioned him to do with another game we were speaking about.
Oh.
He's quite big in terms of games that are like that have this like Anthem and Godfall and Division. He's one of these guys who follows that like Destiny Division type game.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he's all over Godfall. He gets like all the inside scoop of stuff. So
okay,
good to see that. Yeah, next news story: Assassin's Creed Valhalla news, kind of. Well, definitely
Creed cast.
We were going to mention partly about Cassandra, and I can't remember. Is it what's the name of the male version?
Alexios.
How Cassandra was supposed to be, I think, the only. She was supposed to be I mean, she technically is the canon gender, right? The canon character, and how she was supposed to be the only one, but the reason there was even a male option anyway is because of accusations in Ubisoft right now.
Yeah, so there's lots of rumors going around that basically, in short, the female characters in the series have been suppressed.
Yeah, I think the main reason for that was that they even said it as a quote that basically female characters don't sell, which they definitely have a point on, because like obviously the male fan base of gaming is a lot larger. They're more likely to play a game where the main character is someone who they look up to or like aspire to be, and they can usually relate more to a male than a female. But I'm kind of glad that because they made Cassandra the main character in that, because she was a pretty good character compared to Alexios, so it made sense. But how that relates into this Valhalla thing is that you can play as both male and female, and they've both got the same name, right?
Mm.
And you can actually switch between male and female during mid-game, which I didn't know if you knew.
I think you told me, but very interesting.
Yeah, so there's actually like a 30-second clip on this article that says that basically shows you how easy it is to change back and forth, and you can do it as much as you want, basically.
Well, Syndicate was fairly easy flow, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's different in that they're both characters. They're brother and sister, right? So they kind of had to both be there. But in terms of this, that you can either play the game as male or female, but they're both technically the same person.
Yeah,
they're not brother and sister. They're not anything else.
Have you picked which one you're playing yet?
I think I'm going to be the male one in this one.
Me too.
Yeah, I think the male one definitely seems just. When I think Vikings, I think men.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
The only thing for me, female-wise, when it comes to Vikings, is like the Valkyries. So I kind of want the female Viking side of things to be more towards the Valkyries and the mythology of stuff, rather than the actual like me being a Viking warrior type person, right? So yeah. I think I'm definitely more on that side of things. But what they are saying is because they're technically the same character, both are considered canon. There's no correct or wrong answer, essentially, which I think is very clever on their part of like a marketing thing, right? Because now the men aren't worried about having to worry about the female being canon, and the females aren't worried about the males being canon. There should be no argument at this point. There should be absolutely no reason why anyone should be annoyed at having to pick male or having to pick female, because there's now a choice. So they've basically fixed the problem, which I'm very glad how they've got to this conclusion. I'm happy that you can change, and I'm happy that both are canon. I think that a lot of the annoyance from the previous one was that Cassandra was actually canon, and so people didn't like that as much. That was where the argument came from before, but this time they're both, so it doesn't matter. So it's all good. I'm happy about that.
All in agreement, say aye.
Aye. There we go. Okay.
Just a quick... Sorry, Jay. Just a quick reminder that you can write into the show, find out how by being creative. Sorry, Jay, carry on.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say that was it for news.
Yes, it was. So, without further ado, it's time to Guess Who's review.
Kind of worried. I'm always worried about this.
All right, Jay, warming up. Show's nearly over. Read between the lines. All right. Right, yeah, I need to do that. Okay, hold on. So, me and Jay take turns in picking a random game review from a random media outlet, and we give 3 quotes, and we've got to guess the game. It's Jay's turn, so he's giving me the 3 quotes. I've got to guess the game. And
we're also on a point system, where if you guess from the first quote, you get 3 points. Second quote, 2. Third quote, 1. And then obviously if you don't get it at all, no points. I think the score at the minute is 6-5 to you.
Is this still in your brain?
Still in my brain. I'm pretty sure I just barely got the last one.
Yeah, 6-5. Jesus.
6-5 to me.
Okay, yeah. So last week we had Assassin's Creed 1, which Jay got 1 point for, which was fair.
Yeah, because I said Assassin's Creed, and I feel like that counts. But
you didn't get it before quote 3, did you?
No, I got it on the third one, so that's fine.
That's fine. Okay. All right. So
I'm so worried you're either not going to get this or I don't know.
Hand stretched. Father.
Are you ready?
Hit me.
Okay, first quote. Oh, God, this is a post-apocalyptic setting, and the world feels just as dead as you might expect it to be.
I think I know this game.
No. Right, have your guess, but think about it a little bit. I'm going to be pissed if you get this. Do you want me to read it again?
No, I mean, there's a few games.
There are.
I'd be really surprised. I'd be really surprised if it's the game I'm about to guess.
I really hope you don't get it.
So I'm going to guess the more mainstream one.
Don't say it.
Okay. No, it doesn't make sense to me.
Can I read it again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Very short. This is a post-apocalyptic setting, and the world feels just as dead as you might expect to be.
As in, you might expect the world to be dead, or you're going to be dead?
You might expect the world to be dead.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to have to say Mad Max then.
Okay. So that was your guess.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Oh, you're so relieved. So relieved. Great game.
I'm worried you're not going to get it. I'm so worried. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
No.
Okay. Sure. People want to kill you because they falsely think you screwed up the balance between heaven and hell. So there's heaven and hell involved.
Diablo 3.
Screwing up the balance. That is incorrect, sir.
Oh no!
So if you get this, you'll at least be 7-5 to you. So.
Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm honestly worried you're not going to get it from this, which is going to annoy me. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
You move through the game and will eventually unlock 2 weapons to complement your sword, a massive scythe, and a hulking gauntlet that can be easily mixed in with your standard combos.
Oh, see, here's what I'm doing. I'm confusing History Dip with this game, as in a Guess Who's review, because we have absolutely 110% talked about this on History Dip.
I don't think we have. We might have done.
Have I not done this game?
Hang on.
Have I not done this game on Guess Who's review before?
Don't think so. Oh, you think it's Dante's Inferno, don't you?
No comment.
Because if you do think that, that's from the very first show we did. In terms of History Dip.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
okay,
don't say
right. Okay, can you? Yeah, I'm struggling here, Jay.
Do we read it again? Do we read it again?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. You move through the game and will eventually unlock 2 weapons to complement your sword, a massive scythe, and a hulking gauntlet that can be easily mixed in with your standard combos. So a game that has a scythe, a sword, and a gauntlet, and has combos, and has heaven and hell, and is a post-apocalyptic setting that is pretty dead, and you've been falsely think you screwed up the balance between heaven and hell.
Yeah, a game's coming to mind, Jay.
Okay, good.
A game is coming to mind. I don't think it's got a scythe in it though. I think the second one does.
Okay, well, if you say the main thing rather than 1 or 2, I'll still give it to you.
All right, well, I'm putting it out there.
Okay, please be careful. I want you to get this so bad.
Is it Darksiders?
Certainly is.
Oh, thank God.
Oh.
That was an excellent round, Jay.
Did I make that too hard?
No, it was good level. Good level.
That was probably like a medium level, I'd say.
Oh,
that was like a medium difficulty, I'd say.
Oh, 7-5. God, Jesus.
7-5.
Right.
I got to bring my A
picky next week. Oh my God. That was tough stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to have played that to understand, right?
Well, the dead setting, I thought it was set in a city.
It is, but there's no people. They're all gone.
And then the second one, Heaven and Hell, makes complete sense. I knew that.
You've been falsely accused of messing up the balance because you didn't actually do anything.
You're in luck that I've played that demo, because if I hadn't, you'd be in trouble, mate.
There you go. Yeah, I want to pick. I mean, I feel like the games we pick are ones we know we've both played, right?
I think so. Oh, do you look at my games list?
No, just ones I think you have.
Okay. Yeah.
I
try to.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick a game that is like really random.
Eternal Darkness, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Yeah, no.
Wow, that's a good game. I love that.
Yes, mate. We're doing a Let's Play. All right.
Brilliant. Okay.
All right, Jay. What are you going to be? Dare I ask what you're going to be playing this week? Because I think I already know the answer.
Honestly, probably just complete Buddy Ghost again.
Amazing.
I'm still enjoying it massively.
Do you know what's nice about you playing it again, Jay? It reminds me of being a kid and playing games where, completing them and getting all the achievements doesn't matter necessarily. Like, you just play it to have fun.
Yeah, I've lost that. I lost that feeling many years ago of being just like playing a game for the sake of it rather than, completing it and then not touching it again.
Yeah.
But with this game, it definitely it lends itself to being played over and over, 100%.
Wow.
So I actually want to talk to you about Ghost just really quick about whether you, from what I've told you so far, do you think does it warrant you playing it?
No.
Wow. I wonder whether the special will change your mind on that. Because if I had to say, from a personal recommendation, I think you need to play this game. Personally, I think you'd love it. If you love Assassin's Creed, you'll love this.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
It definitely diverges very heavily from Assassin's Creed. Like, this is definitely not AC. This is not AC Japan. Not even the slightest.
Okay.
AC Japan would probably be set in the Edo period anyway. It's a completely different era.
Yeah.
Actually, weirdly, this game is set in an era that's never ever been touched before. Ever.
Interesting.
It's the first time this has ever been in a game.
Okay. What I will say, Jay, is I'm very open to playing it when it's a free game on PS Plus or it's on offer.
Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. I watched someone's review of this, and they said They don't say this often, but this is like one of those kind of people who say, right, you can play this game, but play it when it's on sale. If it was up to me, I'd say everyone needs to play this full price. It is so worth it.
Really?
It's a full price game. I definitely would say for you, probably wait till a sale, just because I'm not you and I'm not in your brain, so I don't know exactly how you're going to feel about it. But yeah, either for you, I'd probably say wait for sale or wait until it's. I don't think it'll ever be free. This game will never be free on PS Plus. I can almost guarantee it. I'd say this game's not going to be free until like another 5 or 6 years from now.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be 2 or 3 years for sure. Yeah,
maybe longer.
Death Stranding or Ghost of Tsushima?
What, in terms of what you should play, or which one's better?
Which one you find better?
Jesus Christ, that's such a good. That is such a good question. Honestly, they're both as good as each other for different reasons. I'd say Death is good because they're both open world, right? And they've both got collectibles, and they've both got, you know, a storyline and missions and side missions or whatever. Jesus, that's such a good question. Honestly, I'd say they're both as good as each other. Honestly, I think they're both as good, and you should. If I had to write a list of games that need to be played before you die, they're both on it, or they're both on the same number.
Okay.
And if I had to, without, you know, just as like an overall thing, I'm probably going to say this. I might not even say this on the special, but if I had to give this like an out of 10, I think I actually agree more with the low 9 or a high 8. Like, I think it's definitely, it warrants more. I think that the problems that people had with it, I didn't actually experience any of those problems. There was no bugs, there was no glitches, there was no nothing.
We're getting special territory now. A
little bit, yeah.
But that's okay. But
oh man,
I'll get your feedback. We'll do the special soon. Don't worry, Jay. In the meantime, thank you. Thank the listeners. Thank